Vinay, today today's live broadcast title, or so to say, the handle today is being,
Yeah,
which we are basically going to talk about what we are doing by default without actually having any control over, right? So our being is in that sense what is before our doing, right?
yeah, yeah.
So would you like to share? Would you like to talk about,
So
or
one second. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Hello.
yeah? Would you like to share about what part of your life you think is ongoing, irrespective of what you do? So what can't you control? What are you by default, in, irrespective of whether you do something or not?
Yep. Like if you talk about visual perspective of handling a design and all stuff, those things can be by experience or something like that. I can control myself. But if you are going beyond a certain level of the new ideas might be something in a different perspective of mm, innovation or
No, so
something.
yeah, we are not talking about any kind of doing. Let's say
Okay,
design or writing, or I mean, let's say we're not talking about doing anything.
anything, yeah.
So
So
who are you? Who are you, irrespective of anything that you can do?
uh, so it is in terms of
In terms of, I mean, you just try to observe, or let's say consider or imagine, because this is not something that we are actually going to be ever going to be able to do, right? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
we can't actually think about ourselves without uh, being in
observation,
some kind of
yeah,
action. So
yeah,
you have to, in that sense, imagine
yeah.
what would how would you think of yourself if it would not be through doing something, or through, some kind of action, some kind of,
Now,
uh,
if
yeah,
you're going to say something like, if I'm not going to take any action, so only
yeah,
that, so in that perspective of only the observation, thinking, and how do I react with certain situations of
yeah,
like,
yeah, your perspective, right? So
yeah,
like before you ever do anything, you are already someone, right?
yeah.
So uh, in that sense, what do you think, what can you share about your perspective? Because if we are looking through glass, I mean, we can only see glass because glass reflects light,
Yeah.
right?
So otherwise, yeah,
Yeah, how would you reflect on your perspective?
yeah. Another way of, I mean, observation of the, I mean, overall, uh, how do I say it is,
Yeah, just feel free and say anything
yeah.
about what you associate with your perspective. How do you, I mean, how would you think of yourself? Who do you think you are, irrespective of doing anything?
It is a bit difficult to, I mean, explore myself rather than the only the perspective of thinking in observation of anything could be related to design or something like that. I'll be thinking almost of the time with my perspective, like in terms of
No,
uh,
let's say you're sitting. There is a bench,
Okay.
with a bench on a street. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you're sitting there.
Yes.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, might be the whole world, like how
No, you
they.
tell me specifically what you're thinking on that bench. So tell me in terms of your
Yeah, in
individual
terms.
thoughts.
Yeah, sitting on a bench. Might be if I think about narrow down my thinking. The earth is there in the bench. I mean, is above the earth. The bench is there. On the bench I'm sitting, and currently the bench will be in the open space, or might be inside.
Yeah, what are you thinking? You was already sitting on the bench. Let's say, so we are doing this
Yeah,
thought experiment.
yeah,
We are doing
might
this
be
thought experiment. Yeah.
related to where I'm sitting in that term, in
Yeah.
that scenario.
Tell
Yeah,
me exactly what you're thinking. You're on that bench.
no, might be in that way where I'm sitting in the bench, inside the home or outside the in
It's on
the
a street. It's on a
okay, a
street.
street. Yeah, if
Yeah.
I'm sitting in a street, like in a bench, might be a park. So how this park is evolved, what is the I mean, uh, my um, mm, my contribution to the this park. So I'm sitting here. So how do I contribute to this park in a better way, or something like that? Might be in terms. So how I'm enjoying, if I'm there in the park, might be I'm enjoying the at the park and sitting on a
Yeah.
bench.
Okay.
Yeah,
So let's make this simpler.
yeah.
So where are you right now?
Right now I'm sitting inside the home.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So can you share with me if you just take a few moments to observe yourself,
Okay.
and and after that, if you can share with me what you're
Okay.
thinking
Yeah.
right now, what are you thinking? Just share with me.
Yeah. Yeah. So currently, I'm thinking about I have read one round of the surface to the uh, PDF. I mean, whatever article. So that how do I react with that? What I understood, keeping those texts. Uh, how these things will reflect on uh, my ideologies or my way of thinking. So that's what I'm thinking on that phase.
Yeah. So what we are going towards is a very simple thing. We're going towards uh, understanding that irrespective of what we do and what we read or what we see, there is something which is already defining who we are.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that sense, you have some. Uh, I mean, it's a slightly confusing word to use, but let's say you have a specific nature of your own.
Okay.
Okay, so you already have that specific nature. So there is so we can talk about being,
Okay.
but we can't ever talk about becoming,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Because you already have this specific nature,
Okay.
which is already there always,
Yes.
and which cannot change. So in the sense, you cannot become something so that this specific nature of yours will become something else. It can't change. You
Yeah.
so in that sense, we will try and hold on to, who we are, by default, right?
Yeah.
Now that is not so simple as it seems to be, when we are talking about this, because what prevents us from, so so this specific nature that you already have, now you might not always or ever be in sync with it,
Okay. So
right?
you're, yeah, yeah.
But
So
yeah,
you're saying like I have my own way of doing things or analyzing things, which I can't move out of. I mean, I'm being myself, so I can't becoming a new thing or something like that. You're saying,
yeah, because the point in life is not to become something,
okay,
but is to allow yourself to be what who you already are,
okay, yeah.
right?
Need to accept the things, being myself, and move forward.
Yeah, so but there's none, right?
Yeah.
Except
Hello. Hello.
obstruction, uh,
Okay.
the obstruction that you're yourself
Okay.
facing through this whole drama, this dramatical narrative of conscious thought.
Yeah.
Through this, there are obstructions that we place, which are not going to let you, be in your default state in that sense, which is kind of like a paradox, because if there's nothing to be done, then
Okay.
how can there be anything to do, right?
Yeah.
But but so what we're talking about is you have to let yourself fall down,
Okay. Yeah.
instead of propping yourself up.
Okay.
So because in your fallen down state, you can approach uh, you can approach to some degree
Okay.
your default state,
Okay.
you know so and how do we fall, right? We have to do this by, in that sense, limiting our obsession with engaging in, in conscious thought, which is trying to which is basically not letting us just be comfortable with, whoever we might be.
Yeah.
So that involves many things. So if you so I mean, I'll give you an example. So if you're writing, for you to ever write something that is going to be of some value, you have to first give yourself the freedom of writing badly,
Yeah.
you know so you can't ever write well if you are not allowing yourself to write badly,
Okay. Yeah.
right? So in a similar way, if you just extrapolate from that, we are talking about not propping ourselves up by, in the sense, putting ourselves in a whole regiment of habit and methods and processes and all
Yes.
of that, but become like an observer of whatever we need to do. We actually have a very good idea about what we need to do to feel at some level that we are engaged, in life around us, right? What else do we need? We need to feel engaged,
Yeah,
and
we need to
and
be.
yeah, we need to feel clued in, right?
Yeah,
And we actually have a very good idea of how to be clued in. If we
yeah,
are not imposing all those, sets of even imposing our own history, imposing the narrative of our own persona, let's say that I am this person, and we impose that story on ourselves. So I can't be that person, right?
yes. It's just a fiction again.
Right. So I just want you to, yes, just take some time to think about what we have talked about,
Okay,
and then just see if there's something which you would like to be, like me to talk about again, or that's something that you would like to discuss or anything. Just take some time.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Are you good? Are we clued in so far?
Yeah, it's like I only thing is like is being I mean observing the things and reacting with that the observation, what interacting with the anything with the humans, or might be a anything could be. It is like a it is all related to my uh, being myself, like how I observe, I'll interact with that.
Yeah,
So
but being yourself doesn't mean latching on to the narrative of who you think you are. There's no there is no thought involved in being.
yeah,
You're right.
yes,
It's before conscious thought.
yes,
So when you are sitting in a room, it's a dark room, let's say, right?
yeah,
there is no
no
light.
light.
Yeah. So if someone else enters the room,
Okay, you don't know who are they, who are entering, or who is that
yeah,
person or something.
yeah, yeah,
So only.
but you are still aware of their presence in a
Yeah.
specific way.
Yeah.
That is what we're talking about. Who are you as? So I mean, before we actually expand our discussion into going into language and behavior and action,
Okay.
we actually just need to do this, and that is, stepping back. There is nothing to do, and we are doing too much.
Okay. So, it's a physical body which I got. So, the thought has my own, that I have a physical body which is, before anything could be I mean, any physical movements or something like that might be observed. I mean, what do you call, language or other things. So it's
Right.
just a, it's
and
just a,
and
yeah,
your mind resides in your body, right? So
yeah,
our mind is embodied, right?
yeah, yeah,
It's not like it's in our brain and our body is just flesh, right?
yeah, yeah,
It's not like that, right?
yeah, yes,
So I mean, I'll just repeat what I said last, because that's something which might require you to, before you accept it and make it a part of your nature in that sense, and you know practice that,
yeah,
you might need to think about that a little bit. So
okay,
which is that we are already doing a lot.
yeah,
We are doing too much.
okay,
So being is in a way the most minimal form of living, right? So
yeah,
it involves little or close to little, no, close to no uh, amount of conscious thought, action, or anything else from our side. So
okay,
if you just do nothing, if you think nothing, if you just withdraw, if you withdraw
everything,
from from, in that sense, of very consciously trying to, being on the guard always, right? So I have to, if my life has to become something, then I have to do something. If I have to do something, then I have to think something. So there is a whole loop,
yeah,
in which we are stuck, and that has to be snapped out of.
okay,
You have to, at one level, practice just being blank, right?
yeah,
So build a comfort level with not doing anything, and uh, it's a paradoxical thing. And it might not actually be possible at a very organic level, but uh, in the sense that a lack of thought is not really possible. And we're not going very esoteric here. We're not talking about meditation and all
yeah,
of that.
yeah,
We're talking in a very simple, pragmatic way,
yes,
that you stop doing so much. That's it, right? So you stop
yeah,
doing so much in thought, stop doing so much in action, stop doing so much in imagination, in
yeah,
every way.
yeah,
So if you're sitting on a bench looking at the street in front of you, all that you need to actually be thinking about, if you are thinking, is the flow of traffic in front of you.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
So, I mean, what we are drawing an analogy with is uh, being a mirror.
yeah,
So, the simplest form of being is being a mirror.
okay,
So you need to, and in that sense, if you let all of that, if you if you stop trying very hard to become,
Okay.
then you will already be.
Oh, okay.
And this doesn't require any enlightenment or any progression spiritually, which for which you need to go off into the woods or whatever. It just requires you to stop trying,
Yes.
and of course, and that will require a bit of practice,
Yes.
you know, and which is something which you need to keep a fine grip on,
Okay.
right? So yeah, just every time you deviate from doing nothing but doing something, which is, you go off into a, oh, if I just do this, if I can just think that, then everything will change. If you just make a note of all such moments,
Okay. Yeah.
and 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 you know how to avoid them next time. So
Okay.
we'll take a month at this, right? So
Okay.
for
Yeah.
a month you actually have to live this way. You have to let yourself, because it's a big it's a lot of work, right?
Yes.
it's
Yes.
it's a, it's a lot of work trying to manage your life all the time,
Yeah.
and in stopping to
Other
do
thing.
all that extra work,
Yeah.
we are actually only being kind to ourselves.
Yes.
So it's not some special thing that you're doing, which is a practice or whatever. You're actually doing less.
Yeah. Uh, Being kind to ourselves.
Yeah, you're just being kind to yourself by not doing so much work, by
Yeah.
just refusing to, manage yourself. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not. So you don't have to, actually, you don't run the world runs you, right?
Yeah.
And you have to be aware of that.
Yeah. I need to refuse for the certain things which is
Yeah, you
not.
have to refuse to take the responsibility of
Yeah.
running the whole universe,
Yeah.
and you'll
Being.
automatically feel more, immediately start feeling more relaxed.
Yeah, yeah. That was I was about to say. If it is not, I mean, thinking in other directions or something, not accepting anything which is part of my life, or might be on my work, or might be. So if I reduce the whole overall the stressful things, or some might be other things, so in that case might be I'll be in a relaxed state. That.
But there are layers of relaxation in the
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah,
So what you might think that being relaxed means today will actually zoom in into something else in a month's time.
okay,
So you have to relax in such a way that you just let yourself relax in such a way that that becomes a discovery even to you, right?
yeah.
I mean, we're not talking about going to a spa or
No,
going
no,
on,
no, no.
you
Yeah,
know. So
I
because
mean,
all of that will just relax your conscious being.
yeah,
We're
that's.
not worried so much about that, because we can even start thinking about, moving towards our conscious thought, or moving towards any kind of doing or whatever we want to think about. We can only ever start after you are absolutely relaxed, after you're absolutely still, right? In that
Yeah,
sense, you are not. What does that mean? That means if you actually have the possibility of being here and now,
yeah,
otherwise it's just very difficult to hold yourself to this time.
yes,
You just fly around all over the world. You have to do this, you have to look at, so uh, I mean, stop consuming information hungrily on the internet, right?
Yeah.
Because that is not going to help you relax.
No.
So you don't need to do that, right?
Yeah.
So, and there is nothing that you can you're going to find on the internet that is going to let you relax.
Yes.
It's most of it is actually nonsensical information that is not be of going to be of any value.
Yes.
So stop, right? So just only do what, because only when you are here and now can we actually talk to each other.
Yes.
Otherwise, where are you, where I am, we don't know where we are,
Yeah.
and we can't actually we don't have the benefit of actually being connected and thinking of something together. So
Yes.
we need to approach that moment. It will take some time, but that's
Yeah.
what we need to do first,
Okay.
right? You need to just let everything fall.
Okay.
Just see that if you don't do anything
Yeah.
except what you have to do to keep your life going, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you can do all of that without thinking about, I mean, without it being a big deal, right? I mean,
Yes. Yeah.
but outside that, just don't do anything.
Okay.
So, what people talk about in a very offhand and light way, they talk about, doing things only which come to them naturally. Now,
Yes.
that is easy to say, but very difficult to actually achieve, because what immediately comes into question is, if you are I mean, are you calling the narrative of being yourself, are you calling that your nature, or are you allowing yourself to drop that and actually you know wait for for yourself to do something that you find worth doing,
Yes.
right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, half our life is occupied by the anxiety of doing something.
Yes.
If we don't do it, we'll feel empty. But the
Yes.
point is that emptiness is what we need,
Okay.
right? You need to, of course, in relaxing, you'll first start. What you'll immediately start feeling is bored. Maybe you'll get bored. Maybe
Yeah.
you'll get. That's fine. That's somewhere along the line of what we want, actually, right?
Yeah.
So after boredom, what will come will start feeling a little bit valuable to you.
Okay.
So you need to have the capacity to sit around for hours doing nothing,
Okay.
right?
I mean, you should not accept anything from for me in terms of any observation or might be any interaction. I mean, sitting not idle, but you should not accept anything.
No, so in the sense, when you're sitting around doodling,
Okay.
so doodling is not doing something. That's something which your hand is just doing.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually optimal. That's very good. But
Okay.
so when you're sketching something, now
Yeah.
that involves a lot of thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm talking about doodling and not
Yeah.
sketching.
Sketching. Okay.
So I'm talking about doodling.
Yeah. Yeah. So
But
when you're doodling, not much data is observing, or might be anything is not gathering from my mind. Just I'm be relaxed and I'm doing something what I want, whichever in way I'm just doodling in that way.
yeah, you're just letting yourself relax, just
Yeah,
letting yourself fall back and
yeah,
see what comes up, right?
yeah.
So the point is, if you stop doing so much,
Okay,
then you'll be able to observe what happens on its own.
okay,
And what happens on its own is what is valuable.
okay.
Nothing that we can ever do consciously is going to be of any value. If you,
Sorry, sorry
uh,
about that.
nothing that we can ever do consciously is going to be of any value.
Okay.
All the value that ever comes into our being actually
Okay.
emerges. It emerges,
Yeah.
right? If you talk to some musicians will talk about jamming.
Yeah.
Now, jamming is about it's like doodling,
Yeah.
right? So, but the other thing is that you need to while you're going about this, the months that you'll take to actually practice this,
Okay.
you have to stop making yourself feel guilty about anything.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you get distracted by something you're reading on the internet for some time, okay, that's fine. You were trying not to do that, but it's fine. I mean, it's not like a crime. It's not like a sin or something like that. It's
Yeah.
So if you actually tell yourself, "Oh, I should not do this," "Oh, I'm trying not to do this,"
Okay.
it will it will cause you more damage than actually letting yourself do it.
Okay. Okay. So
So
you are going to say something like forcibly should not. It's like might be I just be myself and not to accept many things.
yeah, so in that sense, like let's say you're going to Goa for a week, right?
Yeah.
So you think in the morning, you know what? Today I'm just going to have a few beers and relax on the beach.
Yeah.
It's a general plan, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now if something comes up on the way, right? If you
Yeah.
find someone who is hurt on the way,
Okay.
and you have to take them to the hospital and something like that.
Yeah.
So the point is to not think at that time, oh, but I made a plan to have beer and chill out,
Yeah.
right? So you're going to actually do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
So whatever comes in your, I mean,
Way.
whatever, yeah, you get distracted, you do this and that. So have a general theme in your mind that,
Okay.
okay, generally I'm trying not to do this,
Okay. Yeah.
but if I do it, I'm not going to beat myself up,
Okay. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Because yeah, if you do that, you're going to inhibit yourself more,
Yes.
you know. So for to actually listen to your own voice, you have to stop frightening yourself, and you have to stop, in that sense, uh, imposing a whole rigor and process and regiment on yourself. Now, that regimentation might be of something good or might be of something bad. That's beside the point.
Okay. Yeah.
You understood what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes. Hello.
Yeah. So I mean, that's going to be I mean, the first experiment that we are going to do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so, which will also allow us to go beyond, trying to speak about everything, right?
Yeah.
So, you'll get tuned into, things which get communicated otherwise,
Yes.
right? Things not necessarily just the things that you are talking about and stuff.
Yeah.
So would you need some time to unpack this and
Yeah.
yeah,
So now it is like you said, I mean, I mean, not accepting things, so many, I mean, things to being sitting or anything, doing very less. And
you're doing very less in thought as well as action. So
Yeah,
if you're doing nothing but you're reading a newspaper, that involves a lot of thought.
yeah,
So that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you do nothing and also try to, I mean, you reduce as much as possible what you
possible.
do
Yeah.
and what you think.
It takes me because it is over the years everyone should has his own routine and all stuff. Yeah, I'm uh, I got the idea like what it takes time like to doing, I mean, taking less challenges or less doing things or something less observation or anything to make.
Yeah,
Yeah, like you need to I
yeah,
need to make a practice day by day.
yeah, a practice of unwinding, right?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Of actually chilling out
Yeah. It is in
because
terms other way, it is chilling out, but it's unwinding the overall the my
yeah, because
beingness or something like that.
exactly because what we need to forget and get out of is the self-imposed narrative of what it means to be who we are and whatever. Because if once you step out of that, you can actually get into doing something which is going to accept what emerges.
Yeah.
So when we start writing and all that, you might discover that what you write is something which is totally unlike what you thought about yourself,
Yes.
and you should be able to accept that when it happens,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, so we'll just go towards that slowly.
Yeah. So making that path easier and easier or something like that, we need to make the practice unwinding things that in other terms.
Yeah, just what does it take to run your life, right?
Yeah.
It's actually very less I mean, what actually how much action and thought it requires for you to run this life that you're living in. It
Yeah.
doesn't require you actually too much, of engage. I mean, it doesn't require to get very engaged and think a lot and all of that.
Yes, 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 yes. It
So
is
just
yeah.
yeah, just
Yeah,
withdraw.
if yeah, if you ask me, like I too much of things, gathering lot of information or something like that. Data is always reacting with myself or something. A lot more of engagement in lot many things. So yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
a lot of that is unnecessary.
Yeah, yeah,
So let's drop it.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, roughly in a month's time,
Yeah,
we'll connect again and talk about how it went for you. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
going about not doing this.
Not
We'll
doing
talk about
anything or something. Yeah.
we'll talk about how it went for you. And meanwhile, what I'll also send you today
Okay.
is a few texts about what we actually spoke about,
Okay.
right? So if you need to think about this, which I don't think is necessary, but if you do,
Okay.
then you can read this text and I'll just post it here actually in the chat. Can you see the chat window?
For me.
It's the topmost button if you press on the left side.
I'm in the iPad version. I could not see. Might be when I log in into computer. Probably
Okay,
I'm
that's okay. I'll email it to you.
okay.
So, one
So
second.
being nothing.
Yeah, I emailed it to you, so
Okay.
you can
Yeah.
look at it.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, so then we'll meet again
Yeah.
on roughly 6th of May.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.